funk music. I think I got really inspired and introduced to funk when I was on my way to go see a Rick James concert. And I didn't even know that the artist Prince was actually going to be opening up. But I went to go see Rick James, and this was back at the Uptown Theater in Chicago. It's a legendary theater. And, I went there, came back, and you really feel inspired when you're seeing other artists doing, what you see yourself doing, the things you want to do, and you're seeing it. And I went back home, and I bought this Korg Poly 61 synthesizer. It had that sound that you hear on Controversy. It had that sound that you hear on a song like Jump, that really synthy wave sound. And I bought my Korg keyboard. I have my TX recorder, my 4-track recorder, my Lindrum. I had all these little toys up in there, and be locked up in my room recording all day long. I mean, first thing I did after school was come home and record. I would even cut school and invite my friends over so they can, we'd be either doing jamming or I'll let them hear and see what I'm up to and all that. And it can be a beautiful day out and people throwing rocks at my window saying, hey, come on, let's go out and party and do this. And I was like, nah, man, I'm going to be locked up in my room jamming. And I came up with an incredible amount of songs, and you find yourself, you start seeing what you're capable of doing, since I'm playing guitar, keyboards, bass, drums, vocals. Working in Guitar Center where you see a lot of musicians coming and going, you see a lot of surprise people coming in there. Like I remember George Clinton and George Benson came in at the same time. They were part of Taste of Chicago, and they came in. And I was selling keyboards back then, and it was funny that I'm actually doing a demo for the customers, and I used to do the bass line of Flashlight and One Nation Under a Groove, and I would throw that drum machine on and then show them how this Juno 1 and Juno 2 and Oberheim and Matrix and all these Jupiters, and showing them how this stuff works. And here comes the godfather of funk peeking through the door saying, somebody's playing one of my jams. And he came in there and caught me by surprise, because you got somebody with all these rainbow colored dreadlocks looking at you. And that was quite an experience, He didn't buy the keyboard, but he helped me sell the keyboard after that day. So that was another good experience.
You don't have to dance. I like the way you prance. You got me going crazy looking at you in the glance. Like the way you dance, cause you just don't care. You really like it when I play, baby, in your head. I like the way you dress. So confess, I want it all, and you know that I want the rest. You know you ain't a fool, that's why you want my boo. I gotta tell you that I really wanna fuck you.
Funk music has definitely taken on a transformation where nowadays you still hear it, even though they don't call it funk. You still hear the elements in it, through a lot of artists. to remember what funk music was all about. You know, it was really all about fun. It was all about maybe one of the greatest generations we probably experienced through the 80s when funk, pop, and rock music was at its height of celebration. It wasn't celebrating, you know, problems of the world, you know, the world and all the crazy stuff that's going on nowadays. You read in the news, that wasn't pop, that wasn't part of what funk and that culture was about in the 80s. And, you know, when it left, so did everything else. And now it's time where you need artists like ourselves to bring that back. You need somebody to remind us, hey, when this was going on, this is what kind of fun we had. This is what we dressed like. You know, we were dressing, we were going out, we were having fun, and it created that whole impact on people. You didn't go to a funk concert and then go out and shoot somebody, or you didn't go see that in the schools, people getting shot up and all this kind of. Funk music does not do that. It does the complete opposite. It makes you go out and have babies. It makes you go out and dress up and have fun. It makes you spend a lot of money trying to look like somebody because that's what you're trying to do. So.
Y'all screaming over there. Y'all need to be screaming over here. Bring your sexy asses over here. Fellas, y'all got work to do. Those ladies wearing some sexy, they want some sexy outfits tonight just for you guys.
I was born to be a musician from the age of 5, you know, and it was something. I threw the Hot Wheels away. I threw my toys out. My mom got me a guitar when I was 5, and I was listening to a Chuck Berry and a Little Richard album, and I was totally hooked. Those two actually started the whole thing for me as far as that look and sound, because they both had personalities. They both had this really cool look, an explosive sound when rock and roll was just really exploding out there. You know, a lot of people think Elvis. No, it was already started. You know, with even Ray Charles and Nat King Cole, they already set the groundwork for rock and roll and that kind of thing, and James Brown and the rest of them. So between those three, yeah, that took me out. That really let me know where I wanted to go and what I wanted to be. You know, what I'm getting ready to do with my J-Ride is actually revitalize. You know, it's not gonna be new, but it's gonna be new to this generation who probably wasn't born in a generation where we came from. So it's gonna be something new to them so they can actually see where it came from. And for the people that come from my generation, which is, you know, a few years back down there, you know, they will remember that, wow, somebody's actually remembering that style of music, that whole vibe, and it'll show a great appreciation. All the funk brothers out there, y'all got to remember that you can't hide. We know where you are. We will find you. And once we do, we're going to yank you out, and you might have to go in that closet and bring out the stuff and let them be like, one more time, y'all, let's go out and do this. Funk is coming back, 2014, y'all. You can't hide, it's gonna come and get you.